What's happening, YouTube? So this video might seem a little redundant to some of you considering how I've talked about morality and religion in many of my past videos. But I wanted to specify on one creationist argument in particular that pertains to this topic, which I haven't yet discussed. And it's a very simple argument, but many creationists seem to like to use it. And it goes something like this. Without God, or without belief in a God, we would not have morality. Now, many of you might be saying, well, why are you addressing this argument? There are just so many flaws in it that it's unbelievable. I mean, there are very obvious flaws with this argument, but the problem is people continue to use this argument, and many people apparently don't see the flaws in using this kind of argument. So, this video is mainly for them, and to point out the various flaws that people seem to miss. There is one thing that I will not deny about religion, and that many religious people might be glad to hear me say, and that is that religion has definitely taken a role in helping shape law as to what it is today. That is an undeniable fact. Similar to how our old scientific knowledge is replaced with new scientific knowledge, these old archaic laws were the first stepping stones for the laws of today. Now, this applies not only to Christians, but to all major religions, and yeah, I'll use Christianity as the example here, but it is undeniable that religion had a role in shaping law as to what it is today. But at the same time, that's not something we should take literally in modern day context. The problem is, people do take the Bible literally as if it was absolute and the objective standard of morality and apply it to the modern era, which it's completely outdated. Some of those rules are just barbaric and unfair and biased in every way. So what do I mean? Well, how about an example? Murder is perfectly okay in the Bible as long as it's in the name of God, or if God himself committed that murder. Now, if we were to apply that to modern day standards, that would be perfectly unacceptable. There is no way someone would get off scot-free just by saying, well, I killed that person in the name of God, because that's socially unacceptable. So does this mean belief in a God helps us make our laws? Well, no. Why do I say this? Well, how about I take that argument and reverse engineer it with another belief? Not just another religion, but any belief in anything supernatural. For example, I could say, without belief in Santa Claus, people wouldn't be good moral citizens. Is there any way to prove that? Well, no. Is there any way to disprove that? No. So essentially, I just took the creationist argument, swapped out the God in question, and replaced it with a different supernatural belief. So essentially, all I'm saying is, if you're an Santa Clausist, then you are a less moral person than a Santa Clausist. So, if you don't believe in Santa Claus, you're clearly a less moral person. Now, if you're a creationist and you're watching this video and you weren't convinced by that argument, then how do you expect atheists like me to be convinced when your God is put in place of Santa Claus? The Bible does not necessarily make people better people. For example, how about all the religious wars that were started in the name of God? Maybe like the Crusades, the Inquisition, the Salem witch burnings, that sort of deal. Are you saying that Christians are all moral people or better people, and you're just completely ignoring all of these religious wars started in the name of your God? So, with me pointing to the Crusades and the high death toll due to Christianity, am I saying that being Christian makes you a less moral person? Not necessarily. See, as with my previous point about belief or lack of belief in Santa Claus, religion is much the same. Whether I believe or don't believe in a certain god or gods has no real bearing on whether I'm a moral or immoral person. In defense of this argument, some creationists might say, well, science doesn't explain how people are good, science doesn't make people better people, religion does. and they'd be half right about this. I say half right because that's true. That's 100% true. Science does not necessarily make someone good or bad if they believe in what science has to say. For the most part, or at least what it strives to be, science is completely objective and only concerned with fact. There is no reward or no blackmail if you believe in science or not. You have nothing to lose, and you really don't have much to gain either. If you want to believe in science, go right ahead. If you don't, well, that's your problem. I'd also like to point out that just because science can't necessarily prove where morality comes from doesn't mean that religion has the answer. You're essentially making a false dichotomy by saying it's either science or religion. So where do I think morality came from? Well, I'm not actually 100% sure, and I don't think people can really say for sure where morality came from. Correct me if I'm wrong, but what I believe is there are two parts of our morality, and the first part was given to us by evolution. See, if we did not have morality, and if we weren't moral, we wouldn't be alive. The second and much larger half of your morality would be comprised of many different factors. For example, your morality is formed by what society believes in, what you believe in, what your family believed in, what your community believes in. These things all make up what we call our morality. There is one set of morality that we can all agree on, and that would be our law. I believe that our law is set there for a reason, and that reason is it is the collective morality of the majority of people. Now, you can have your own personal morality. So, for example, I think it's perfectly acceptable to allow gays to marry. I think it's perfectly acceptable to allow abortion. I think it's perfectly acceptable to condone stem cell research. People don't feel the same way about that as I do, and that is their own subjective morality. So, for example, once upon a time it was perfectly okay to own a slave. Now it's illegal. Once upon a time it was completely illegal for two men or two women to marry. Now it's becoming more acceptable in society. See, our morality is much like us. It's not perfect. In fact, I believe that our morality evolved similar to how we evolved from a common ancestor. Because similar to how humans have adapted to the environment around us by being smarter and stronger, our morality has adapted to humans. And how we've gotten smarter and stronger, our morality has gotten better and better over time. So, whenever I, or atheists like myself, hear creationists or theists say, well, without God, you wouldn't be moral, we get very offended. Because not only is there no proof to support that, no concrete proof at any rate to support that argument, it's bigotry at its finest. Now, I know this joke has been repeated over and over again, and I'm sorry, but this is a very appropriate time to say it. You should treat religion like you would treat your penis. It's okay to have one, it's okay to be proud of having a penis, but don't try and make everyone have a penis. Don't think everyone should have a penis, and more importantly, don't try and shove it down other people's throats. I don't care what religion you believe in. I don't care if you think your religion is the most morally correct religion in this world, or that's ever been conceived. If you expect everyone to follow what you believe in, and if you think that if what you believe in makes you a better person than other people who don't believe in what you believe in, then that is bigotry, and that is unacceptable, and I have no tolerance for bigotry. And come to think of it, neither does the rest of the world. So, thanks for watching, and may the truth always be heard. Bye.